Hello, my name is Harold Polis. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about key things of pulling out of grief. The first thing is all during the grieving process, which is really hard because we don't really want to do anything, is self-care. Self-care is first and foremost at the very beginning of grief and as grief goes on. Self-care gives us a little bit of energy and a little bit of boost for the struggles and challenges that we face as we go through grief. Because a lot of times we just feel like giving up. And the key is to not give up. I know we feel, okay, we got family, we got other children, we've got, work and stuff that we can't give up, but we still feel like giving up. And to give us some energy, that healthcare, that self-care, nutrition, around sleep, around basic things, trying to stay in activities when we really don't want to do them, because I found that, I do magic tricks and I play instruments, but after I lost my kid, I didn't want to do any of that. So you have to kind of rediscover yourself or try to keep yourself in those kind of things, which is hard because we lack the energy for those kind of things because we can barely make it through the day, right? So all your energy is going on in here, and that takes up a lot of physical energy as well as mental energy. So it's really tough to do that. The next thing is that we want to find somebody who is going to listen. All right. Grief is worked out in words, and through counseling, or through a trusted friend or somebody who's going to be there for the long haul, is very important. There's few people that, they're very introverted and they can do all this work inside themselves in their heads. But that's few. Most people, we're social beings. We got to get this energy out of us that's so saturating in sadness and hopelessness. So we got to get that energy out of us. And that's worked out in either words. Well, it is worked out in words, either with a listener, or some people find it really helpful to journal. But again, there's some guides to journaling around grief that can be very helpful. And it's also, again, we tend to maybe not keep our discipline around those things. When we try to journal, today I don't feel like it. And then a new habit starts that we don't do it tomorrow and the next day, or we kick the can down the road, right? Same with our self-care. We got to make sure that we have some sense of discipline and somebody who's keeping us, not like a boss hanging over your head, but that's somebody who's kind of nurturing this process, right? So having like a counselor or somebody that you meet with every however much you agree to is really helpful. I myself went to 3 or 4 phases of counseling over many, many years. And I found that I discovered a lot about myself, and I grew as a person, and I learned how to integrate my grief. In other words, let it walk beside me, because I still experience the loss of my son every day. But my experience is that it's next to me now. And sometimes I have a moment. Yesterday I cried. I heard a song that made me feel something for my son, and I sat there and I chose to cry it out for a few minutes. But I knew after that I wouldn't have this tremendous fog that I had in the past hanging over me for the day, or that just saps the energy. So I had my cry, I went on, and yeah, my day was pretty good, So that thing is again, someone who's going to listen and helps you along that way, because grief's a long period. Grief is a long journey. and it never really goes away, but it can get to the point where you can manage it on your own rather than feeling like it's driving the bus. And the last thing is that we need somebody, I think, who helps us open our thinking. So often in grief, we are closed to thinking because our mind is so busy managing all the emotions and trying to structure a new future. And, it needs to work from stuff it knows, and it doesn't know the future because it just exploded with the loss of our kid, right? So we need somebody to help us that's going to look forward to help us move forward, that looks forward with us to help us move forward versus just stay stuck in the past where we can and just keeps us in the mud. So I hope you find that person for yourself. If you find this useful, you can click the link below this video. Also, I encourage you, because I know you're striving to get through each day, but I encourage you, this is Harold Polis saying, first survive, then strive, and eventually, unimaginably, thrive. Thank you for listening.